Shawn Ryan hears about this man talking about why ancient civilizations were obsessed with watching the sky. So let's get into it, guys. Shout out to Shawn Ryan. Very, very fascinating.
Do you think about that? How humanity may have survived or sought refuge?
Well, you want to turn back to mythology?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
If we were faced with something like, if we can go back to now what's almost certainly a
This
real
is strictly
event.
in mythology.
Okay, so here we got mythology. And here we have scientific evidence that Earth was blasted around 12,900 years ago by a multi-impact event.
Okay.
A smaller version of what happened to Jupiter. Okay?
What?
Now, we've been around, modern humans have been around for probably a couple of 100,000 years. So the event that happened is called the Younger Dryas. Younger Dryas was initially it was an extreme climate event that was documented in Europe. Well, since then we've learned all kinds of interesting things. One is that the mass extinction of the great megafauna that lived during the Ice Age, there was, over 100 species of megafauna that did not survive the end of the Ice Age, right? I mean, when was the last time you saw a woolly mammoth roaming around the forests of
Last year, duh. I got one living outside right now.
sea?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, but 12,000, 13,000 years ago, you had several species of elephants living here in Tennessee.
Interesting.
You don't think about elephants, you think Africa, India, but you don't think North America. An elephant is a proboscidean, meaning it has a long snout, a long nose. Up until the end of the last ice age, there were 4 species of proboscideans living in North America.
That's crazy to think about.
Think about that. They're all gone now. What happened to them? Well, there's different theories. One theory, which I think considered to be ridiculous, is that they were hunted to extinction by nomadic tribes of hunters. But given that the estimates for the human population at the end of the last ice age, and we're talking 12 to 15,000 years ago roughly, those estimates of total global human population range between 5 and 10 million. Estimates for total number of mammoths, 12 million.
Wow.
Whoa. It's a lot of mammoths versus people there.
Mammoths. That's just an estimate, but it's probably in the ballpark. Now, let's say you got 10 million people. How many of those people, now that's women, children, elderly, how many of those are going to actually be hunters? And hunters that are capable of taking down a mammoth.
It's 25% or less.
What?
25% or less.
That's probably about right, yeah. So what does that leave? A couple of million people were able to exterminate every mammoth on Earth in less than 1,000 years?
No way.
No. And then when we look at the circumstances under which we find those mammoths and other extinct animals, that's not, we find.
Yeah, I've seen videos and pictures of mammoths frozen to death with food in its mouth.
Frozen in permafrost.
So nobody really sought refuge. It was just luck of the draw where you were on them.
Well, now you get down to a really interesting question. I think that the plausible scenario might be that you had survivors of 2 types. Those who survived by the luck of the draw, and those who survived because they knew it was going to happen, they planned for it, they prepared for it. And
you think they knew it was going to happen?
I think we could make a strong argument that somebody did know.
How so? How would they have known?
Well, see, this is where we now get into why ancient peoples all over the world were such obsessive sky watchers.
I mean, even the wise men, the magi, the people who were watching the sky saw a star in the east. They were watching the sky. I'm sure you could see like this star moving and then it gets closer and realize, oh, maybe that's not a star. Maybe it's a comet, a meteorite. Speaking of meteorites, there's been a lot of meteorites hitting the Earth.
And how did astronomers were able to predict this impact on Jupiter a year in advance? Now, I think that we could make the argument that there was, whatever you want to call them, a priesthood or whatever, whose job it was to monitor the skies for generation after generation. And typically, one of the things that would happen is that impacts, right now, we could think of Earth, we could think of Jupiter. And there are streams of stuff traveling between the two, almost like cosmic ping pong or something, right? Now, every year on June 30th and 2 times, right around late October, early November, late June, early July, Earth crosses this stream of cosmic debris that's called the Taurid meteor shower. The peak of that, now it takes, to fully cross the stream, takes a couple of weeks, right? But the Tunguska object, if I come back, we can look at some really cool graphics.
Pull them up.
Well,
if you'd like.
I don't know if I've got that open, but when we do the break, I'll pull some stuff up, okay? Picture this. You've got this stream of debris coming in from Jupiter, coming around the sun, and going back out to Jupiter. The whole stream takes between 3 and 4 years to make an orbit around, like this, right? Now, here comes the Earth. It crosses the stream twice, right? Once in late October, early November. When it crosses, at that time of year, it's crossing in such a way that if you were to look up the stream, you'd be looking out into space. You'd be looking towards the constellation of Taurus. That's where it gets its name, the Taurid meteor shower, after the constellation of the Bull.
All right, the Taurid meteor shower, more commonly known as the Taurid meteor shower, is an annual long-lasting event divided into northern and southern streams, famous for its dazzling Halloween fireballs. The Taurids are highly sought by stargazers. Really? Dang, look at these pictures. Look at that. That's crazy. Insane. Imagine seeing this. Man, everyone would be thinking they're seeing angels flying by.
Now that stream comes around the sun. Now if Earth is crossing there in late June, early July, and you're looking up the stream, as these things are approaching, you're looking almost directly towards the sun. So you don't see them. That's what happened on June 30th, 1908, is that thing came from around the sun. And the people that did see it in the last few seconds, they described things like it looked like it was being born out of the sun, or the sun spit it out, and they see this thing suddenly in the sky, and then it gets brighter than the sun, and then the damn thing explodes. And you had people 40 miles away from the epicenter of the explosion who were literally like blown off their feet and thrown 20, 30 feet in the air.
What?
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that was how the pressure wave that went out from it, right? So, what I'm leaning towards is the idea that you had people who were watching the skies and predicting this. And one of the reasons, now, again, showing graphics to explain this would be much easier, but when you look at and make these predictions of, like when they made that prediction back in 93, that this thing was going to hit Jupiter, they used a set of information called cometary elements, or the orbital elements, right? And what they need to know is shape of the orbit, its tilt relative to Earth's orbital plane, and several other things, right? Well, the things that modern astronomers used to count, the conceptual tools they used to make that prediction, are all the things that you can identify by using the ancient standing stone circles and observatories. I think all these things all over the planet were observatories by which they were able to calculate cosmic motion to a high degree of precision. And if you saw an object circling in that orbit, and just like with the Shoemaker-Levy 9, that thing had been circling Earth and Jupiter, but nobody had seen it, right? It had been doing it probably dozens of times, and nobody had seen it. But what happened is that every time it went out to Jupiter, Jupiter's gravity was sucking it in a little closer, a little closer, a little closer, until finally it got so close it passed within that Roche limit, ripped it apart, and then on the next circuit around, boom,
Gotcha.
direct hit.
Whoa.
Gotcha.
Now,
So it hit. Jupiter's intense gravity continually pulls in passing comets and asteroids, resulting in dozens of meteor impacts annually. The most famous event occurred in 1994 when a comet Shoemaker Levy 9 broke apart and collided with a gas giant, unleashing explosions thousands of times more powerful than Earth's nuclear arsenal. No way. How do they know that? While small, unobserved meteor impacts, fireballs on Jupiter are quite frequent.
Incredible. One more big impact on Jupiter. In mid-September, another asteroid plunged into the thick atmosphere of the giant of the solar system, disintegrating in a flash of light. Since 1994, the year of the first incredible collision, that of the comet Shoemaker-Levy 9, this is the 8th event that testifies to the ability of Jupiter to attract comets and small asteroids.
That's crazy.
maybe there were ancient people with enough sophistication to see things in the sky multiple orbital periods before impact.
Very interesting.
It literally could be like that. Man, at the end of the day, if an asteroid comes, I'll be like, yep, this is end times prophecy. 1/3 of the world is going to be caught on fire. The other one's going to be half the 2/3. Another third is going to be destroyed. I'm gone. I'm Lord, take me. Take me. I'm ready to meet my baker. But crazy stuff. Did you guys know that? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I encourage you to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. And always remember, guys, Jesus loves you.